Hey, thanks for joining us for Fox 10 Talks on this Saturday. I'm Trenton Hooker, joined by the one, the only Sarah Phillips. Sarah,
Hello.
thank you for being here.
Thanks for having
Brian
me.
Webb, Ashley Rodriguez, going to be a little bit tardy today
Yeah.
coming in. I
So
know,
I'm
shameful,
uh
indeed.
uh second or third choice, which
For-
I'm honored.
Well, that's far from it, for the truth. But there's a lot going on still. I think the nation, of course, has just been totally captivated by the Nancy Guthrie case, the mystery now stretching into day 7. Tonight will be the last time that she was seen alive in her Tucson home. And we have Taylor Wirtz joining us in just a moment. But Sarah, as we are stretching into day 7, it's been a week. What are your thoughts just overall? And this whole case has just been, I think, twists and turns and crazy, right?
It is so crazy. We have on our website a missing persons story. So like every time there's a missing adult that comes in, we add it and we log it. And when there's an update, if it's fatal, if they're found, we update it. So I remember getting it. I think it was Sunday afternoon around like 3:00. It came in from the Pima County Sheriff's Department. And I was like, okay, she's an older woman. Like maybe she kind of wandered off. Maybe there's like some cognitive issues. Nothing out of the ordinary. And then I just didn't put the 2 and 2 together. I watched the Today Show. I did not put 2 and 2 together that Guthrie, Savannah, like all this stuff until it was like, I don't know, 9:30 that night. And the rumors came out and I was like, oh man, this is going to be a huge story because Savannah was supposed to do the Olympics this week. And then now, of course, she's here and this is just blown up.
Yeah, and Tucson's her hometown. And she
Yeah.
has, I think we can say she's definitely, one of the most famous daughters of Tucson. Being raised there by her mom. And the community immediately, I think the outpouring of support came out and was gigantic. But our own Taylor Wirtz is out there in Tucson. Taylor, can you hear us okay? I think you're still traveling there, but for sure, as you've been following all the twists and turns of this case, what's your reaction of now we're in day 7 tonight since she was last seen alive?
Yeah, we're about 15 minutes from Nancy Guthrie's home right now. So we just got into the beginning of the city of Tucson. And it's just mind blowing that, 7 days in, and we feel like we've been learning a lot, but at the other hand, it feels like we haven't. I was just speaking on the phone with a neighbor, and they all just feel like, yeah, we've gotten a lot of breadcrumbs throughout the week, but we still don't know so much. And we don't know with investigators, they've been having these daily press conferences and all of a sudden we're told they're not going to be having press conferences anymore. So you start to wonder, is that because they just have absolutely nothing? Or sometimes you feel like when they really don't, I always think of the Idaho case, how it kind of seemed like it had gone cold and then all of a sudden they made an arrest and everything fell into place. So that's, I think, what you hope and pray for and what neighbors are hoping and praying for. But you just don't know. I mean, it's the fact that we're 7 days in and, and there's in the back of your mind, your heart breaks because there's that kind of deadline of her needing her medication. And so even if she is alive and well, how long can she stay alive and well with that in mind?
Exactly. And a comment from viewer watching all the way over in Scotland. So Scottish Digger, we appreciate this. Good evening from across the pond. Hopefully this poor lady is found ASAP. Yeah, so definitely the world is watching this case. Fascination, where this is not a typical kidnapping disappearance case with the twists and turns that have happened. Now, I do want to play a soundbite if we can real quick. President Trump was on Air Force One last night and asked by the press about the Guthrie case. And I thought this was an interesting answer he gave, where he kind of hinted that there might be a shoe dropping as federal investigators are really intensifying. So if we could play that, Ashley, SOT 1.
Federal law enforcement, I'll give you a little statement. I think we're doing very well on that regard. You probably
surprised to hear that. I think we're doing very well. Very well, meaning we have some clues, I think, that are very strong. And I think we could have some answers coming up fairly soon.
Is this a nationwide search? Is this a search going to Mexico?
I'm not talking about a search. I'm talking about a solution. We have some things, I think, that will maybe come out reasonably soon from DOJ or FBI or whoever that could be
A suspect?
could be definitive.
When do you expect this?
A lot's taken place in the last couple of hours. A lot of things have happened with regard to that horrible situation in the last couple of hours.
Wow. So the president injecting himself, of course, into the conversation there and hinting that some big things could be happening. Taylor, what was your reaction kind of hearing that? As we've seen so many twists and turns this week in this case.
I didn't expect anything like that. I mean, you hinted that he may be hinting at something, but I mean, I would hardly even call that a hint. I mean, he flat out said, I expect things to be coming. And they said, he used the word something like a resolution or something. And gosh, you just hope that that is true, because that would be incredible. Just after, like I said, just feeling like we've got little breadcrumbs. Like you said, the whole world is watching, and this really goes to show the fact that we're having people from Scotland writing it. But that really, it gives me hope. I really, really hope that that is true.
Well, and we also saw in the late evening, even going into the night, where the FBI was out there again. I believe we have some drone video of that if we could show, Ashley. But FBI agents were really focusing in on this blue Subaru SUV, as well as there was a floodlight that they were also looking at that was broken. That we could see. And then I believe also they said that there was a wired device on the roof as well. Now, Taylor, you talked to a neighbor, you just mentioned that, but she had noticed that there was something going on with that roof compared to all the other ones in the neighborhood. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, she didn't go into detail about it. She did say she's gotten kind of tired of repeating the same thing over and over, but it sounds like, she said she noticed it looked like Nancy's roof had work done on it recently. And so she was wondering if, police had followed up with whoever had been doing that work, because I personally had an experience with my family years ago. We were remodeling our home and we had a break-in a few months later after it was remodeled, and it ended up being somebody connected, because when you're remodeling a home or doing work, anyone knows if you're doing work in your home, there's just so many people coming and going that you've never seen before. And they're getting all these sorts of insights as to there's a camera, there's a door, there's a window. And so that really, it sounds like, to the average person might be nothing, but you never know. That could be something.
And I know also with this SUV that's the tow truck in question. It did remove it from the scene and brought it back to the Pima County Sheriff's Department to be analyzed. But there was also something our Fox News teams were mentioning today, that there's a gas station in the area where the investigators, I believe, were seen going up and talking to a few people. But I thought that was interesting, just the buzz that's happening. But Ashley, if we could play that video, I believe that's the second soundbite there, but a little bit of Nat sound in this.
Okay, that's
Which one?
this right here.
That Bronco is FBI?
I'm sure. I don't know if it's FBI or just TPD.
Or what?
Or TPD. They didn't say, they were just dressed like normal people too.
Oh, really? So just plain clothes?
Yeah, like.
Normal civilians.
She had a badge. But I don't know if he was like something else.
Yeah. Did you get any foresight that they were coming?
No, they didn't.
They
They just showed up.
Oh yeah, look at there's their badges.
That's why I could tell. That's why I remembered what time they came in, just because it was like this guy here.
So Friday at 1:58
Ashley,
p.m.
Yeah.
Can I see the view of them inside?
Okay, so a lot going on there. Now, I know later in the clip they said, quote, they said they were looking for some guy who got away, a gas station employee told Fox News Digital. So it definitely seems like, this whole area that has been under intense focus from the week. It is interesting to me, Taylor, that they keep going back and, re-looking to see if anything was missed. The federal investigators and then local investigators there too. Really seems like they're leaving nothing unturned.
Yeah, I know we all talked about how Nancy Guthrie's home was, the yellow tape was gone. People could walk right up to the door, and everyone thought that was kind of strange that a crime scene would be opened up so early. And the sheriff did kind of come back later and say he did think that they were.
Okay, welcome back to the Saturday edition of Fox 10 Talks. I'm Trenton Hooker. Now, Sarah had to go back to work, she said. Like, this isn't work. I mean, people have no idea what it takes to do this. I mean, if I didn't have Ashley Gomez back there saving me, it'd be a total flop compared to what it is right now. But we appreciate everybody sticking with us, especially those watching from overseas. Again, on our Nancy Guthrie coverage, if you go to fox10phoenix.com/Guthrie. That's going to have the latest on our coverage from Tucson. And Taylor Wirtz is live there all today, as well as our Fox News team. So we're going to have the latest on the ground there. And tonight we'll have our full report at 9 o'clock Arizona time. So stick with us for that. And of course, if anything major developing breaks from that, we're going to join in. We're going to tell you about it live as it's happening. So thanks for being with us, and of course, subscribe to our channel to hang with us for the latest updates. But Hans Peterson is joining me in studio. I gave a really late delay there with the intro, but he is our resident cinephile and all things movies.
Yeah.
And I love talking to Hans about it. So, Hans, I know that you just wrapped up watching Sundance last week.
Yeah.
That was interesting, of course, as it's the last one that was happening, the move to Colorado. Can you tell me, I know that you've already discussed those films, and I know we have a lot to talk to today, but what's the general feeling, though, in the arts community where that seems like a huge move where they're going? Is it,
does.
bittersweet? Are they happy about the Colorado move? Or is it like, okay, this is kind of into an era where we don't know what's ahead?
Certainly, it's definitely a big unknown, and I think there's a real sentimental feel for Park City since that's where it all started. It's been there more than 40 years. And there's that small town feel of, where you always are bumping into celebrities. No, it's Leonard Maltin, or, oh, it's Selena Gomez. I mean, there's so many people I've bumped into over the years just on this one little stretch of town. And Boulder, it's a bigger community. It's a much bigger city. And
we just lost Robert Redford.
Oh, yeah.
So it's, what a loss it seems like. Yeah, for
bittersweet change. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see, though. It'll be really interesting to see how Boulder steps up, and certainly traffic will be a big improvement. Many times I've been stuck in 5 o'clock traffic trying to get to a screening that I'm missing because it's just everything's at a standstill. It's a parking lot because it's such a small town. 8 different theaters to get to in a town of, I forget how many people. I want to say 5,000 people in Park City. It's a pretty small community. So I think all said and done, maybe after a year or two, I think it'll really be a premier spot.
Oh, that's great. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Well, tell us what we're watching this week. The Plague. What is that?
Yes, The Plague. The Plague is now that one just was out last month in theaters, and now it's available to stream this week. It's got 97% Rotten Tomatoes critics rating, 65% audiences, so there's a little bit of a disparity there. Premiered at the Cannes Film Festival. It's an art house thriller written and directed by Charlie Pollinger, and nothing is scarier than a boy's locker room for a 12-year-old boy. And that's kind of the premise here. It's a movie set in 2003, and it's proof that bullying was rampant well before cyberbullying was a thing. Ben is expertly played by Everett Plunk of Griffin in the Summer. He's starting out at polo camp. Joel Edgerton is the Golden Globe nominee from Train Dreams, and he stars as the coach. And Jake is the leader of this brutal social hierarchy that poor Ben is trying to navigate. He's trying to stay on the good side of this charming, snot-nosed ringleader. And K.O. Martin does such a good job of making Jake an unlikable bully. But also, in some cases, he has a charm, too, a certain charm. And they mercilessly terrorize this poor kid named Eli who has acne. They call him, say he has leprosy. And... and Eli is actually a smart and talented kid, kind of quirky, but all the kids basically subject him to peer pressure, brutally tease him, and then eventually poor Ben falls in the crosshairs, too, of the teasing. So really well-done thriller. It's for people who love thrillers, it might not be their cup of tea. It's more of an art house thriller, it has an indie feel. The last, third act of the film is not what you'd expect of a normal thriller, but there are some interesting surprises at the end, and I think fans of independent film will like it maybe more than fans of thrillers will appreciate it. Yeah,
always to be appreciated, and of course that time period, of any boy's life.
Yeah,
rough.
And I will say the right, absolutely. And the cinematography is stunning, and the music really plays a role in making this a creepy film. Like whether it's the sound of a distant siren or weird like rhythmic chanting, there are just aspects of the soundtrack that really kind of get under your skin and make the skin crawl a little
unnerving,
bit.
for sure. And that's available on streaming right now.
Yeah, it's streaming right now. Yeah,
Awesome.
It's like $6 rental.
Well, let's talk about Scarlet. What is that on?
Scarlet is Japanese animation. It's a blend of 2D and 3D. Mamoru Hosoda is the director of this extraordinary style of 2D cell animation for the characters and then 3D photorealistic settings. He's really one of the auteurs of modern Japanese animation. He directed Belle, which is a great example of this type of animation. This is a visually stunning animated drama, 4.5 years in the making, and it's a reinterpretation of Hamlet. Which we're seeing a lot of these days. So Danish 16th century Princess Scarlet dies in the first moments of the movie. Her father is killed, and her uncle, the new King Claudius, has been installed. Claudius's wife is named Gertrude. There's a Rosencrantz and Guildenstern in there. So there are a lot of parallels, and she's trying to avenge her father's death, and torn whether or not to avenge it, as she meets up with a modern-day paramedic, because she's in this netherworld where time and space do not exist. So she meets up with a 21st century paramedic who is all about healing and forgiveness. And so that sort of tension becomes the moral thrust of the story. Yeah, it's fun. I mean, I don't watch a lot of Japanese animation. I loved Howl's Moving Castle, which actually the director worked on. I think fans of Japanese animation will love this. If one is not a fan of animation, you might be on the fence about it. It's remarkable to see these 2D animated characters in a photorealistic environment. That's what I loved about it the most.
That's interesting.
You can't see me,
novel.
but I do want to put in my opinion. I have not heard of this before, but
Sure.
I love 2D animation needs to come back, first of all.
Yes.
But also, I love when they can incorporate 3D elements and make it more cool. There's this one Christmas movie that I really like called Klaus, and it's 2D drawings, but it's lit like it's a 3D animation. And I just think it makes everything like just come more to life. So I'm definitely watching this. Whatever this movie is, I'm watching it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you'll like it. And if you haven't seen Belle, that one's good too. I'm in the middle of watching Belle, which is set in modern times and has similar style, but not as much photorealism as Scarlet. So Scarlet's a real treat. It's in theaters now. Sony Pictures putting this one out.
Love it.
Yeah.
A Private Life.
Private Life, also by Sony Pictures. Director Rebecca Zlotowski helms this project. 81% critics rating, 62% audience rating. It stars two-time Oscar winner Jodie Foster, so you can't go wrong. And she actually went to school in France, so she's entirely fluent. So it's very cool to see this Hollywood star, like, you know.
Is there
so
anything
well-versed.
she can't do,
I know,
really?
Right? She's so compelling in this.
Amazing.
And she plays Dr. Lillian Steiner, a psychiatrist living in France who learns her client supposedly took her own life, but she begins to suspect the woman was murdered. And it's in competition at the Cannes Film Festival. Opens with the Talking Heads song "Psycho Killer," which kind of sets the tone. You know, this is a stylish French thriller, well-paced. Sure. Yeah, it's a. She learns her client Paula evidently overdosed on the medication she prescribed, and it become the question develops. Well, is she just in denial about the fact that she may have had a hand in this woman's death, or was there really a murder? Was she really murdered, and she's just onto it? So it's fun to see Foster trying to solve another mystery, a la Silence of the Lambs, in pursuit of another possible killer. So that's a lot of fun. And of course, she's just so compelling, she carries the movie. If someone else had been helming this, I'm not sure it would have been as strong, but with Jodie Foster, you really can't go wrong. It's,
For sure.
Yeah, it's a fun, stylish thriller. There is a metaphysical element to it that I think derails the story a little bit. And you begin to wonder, would the psychiatrist really believe this metaphysical aspect of the story? I don't want to get into too much, but if you've ever seen Dead Again with Emma Thompson and Kenneth Branagh, has shades of that. But in any case, at one point, and she teams up with her ex-husband to try and solve the mystery. At one point, the ex-husband says, there are a lot of loose ends here. And it's kind of like, there are a couple of loose ends here. But
unintentionally breaking.
Yeah, but it's still a great movie. And I enjoyed it. It's fun. Yeah, I'd say it's worth watching. I'd give it, I'd give it 3 out of 5 stars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the one I was looking forward to the most. New Muppets.
Woo!
Right?
Yeah, The Muppet Show.
The Muppet Show.
And you were saying your daughter's a fan. It's
My daughter just turned 4 last week, and she is obsessed right now with all things Muppets. So we actually just got done with a 2-day binge-a-thon with all the movies and even going back to the old show, too. It was really fun just to re-explore that. But anything Jim Henson, Brian Henson, it's just spot on for me. What a time to be a kid. Going back the 70s to the 90s, I think.
Who's your favorite
it was
Muppet?
Golden. But tell us about the new show.
Favorite Muppet. I mean, I just thought it was spectacular. It was as if they just picked up from 1981.
That's
where
great.
They ended with the 5th season. It's almost like this is season 6 easily. It's just so it's just spot on in terms of tone, in terms of comedy. They go back to what the Muppets did best, which was kind of the self-deprecating comedy. Sabrina Carpenter is great in it. She's like in on the joke. I've become such a Sabrina Carpenter fan. She's like in everything this week. Grammys, the Pringles commercial for the Super Bowl. She's just doing everything. But I love this rendition of the Muppet Show. I think Seth Rogen is just such a talent, and he's spot on when it comes to his cameo and comes to bringing back the Muppets.
That's so cool.
It's really great. I'm thrilled with it. I can't speak highly enough of the new Muppet Show.
Yeah. Well, it's exciting to look at for sure, and hopefully
do you have
keep it going.
I know Ashley was asking if we have a favorite Muppet. Do you have one?
Oh, that's a great question, man. I'm gonna have to go Gonzo. For me.
Gonzo.
Oh my God, same.
Really? Yeah.
Seems like
he dresses so cute.
Most reasonable than any weird situation.
I also really liked Animal because I love drummers.
What about
you? Animal. And that's a tough one for me because it's changed over the years. It used to be Miss Piggy just because she was so darn, damn funny. Just so amazing. So self-involved. But lately, I feel like it's a really obscure one. Mr. Deadly, in the Muppets reboot on ABC when they made it look like The Office, he was Miss Piggy's assistant when Miss Piggy was doing the talk show. I just love his character.
Yes.
And Beaker's just
amazing.
It's hard to pick one. Yeah.
Well, thank you for the comment there that my daughter has good taste. Looking forward to the new Muppet movie.
Does she have a favorite
we appreciate
Muppet?
that. That's actually a great question. Let's see. I think it's just Kermit. She loves Kermit every time he comes on, and it's so easy. But the history with the Muppet Show, it's fascinating that the first season of SNL. Right, that they were part of it, and I just love the fact that Jim Henson was that flexible with doing so much, and then of course his other '80s movies that he did, The Dark Crystal, Labyrinth. I mean, it's just amazing stuff. So anytime you see, they're kind of bringing back the old, I think, with newer audiences. And it's something fun, too, I think, that, even grandparents can watch, with their grandkids and get into it again, just since the humor, I think, there's some adult laughs.
Yeah, there's some adult laughs that work on the higher level, but you can still enjoy it if you're a 4-year-old, for sure. And I like the fact that this time around they didn't try and reinvent them. They just went back to doing what the Muppets do best.
Classic. Easy enough. But, well, Hans, thank you for hanging with me on this Saturday. It's been fun. And everybody following along in the comments on the Nancy Guthrie case, just want to reiterate that we are going to have live coverage on Fox 10. Now, if you go on our website, fox10phoenix.com/Guthrie, that's going to have the latest on the search for the missing 84-year-old. And our own Taylor Wirtz, she's going to be out there live. We'll have all that